Hey YouTube, this is Apole from Kingdom 1252. Going on another budget build here, talking about stats. This is going to be the most important category that you can focus on in this game. Now, the way the game is set up, there's many different ways to improve the different stats in the game, but as a war game, the most important ones that arguably anybody would talk about is your war stats, battle strength, the attack and defense of your troops in your library. Now, focusing on this with your main castle is the approach that I went with, dumping almost all my resources into this category, improving the march size and the attack boost, health, and defense. Well, there's also the defensive side, which can be a big bonus for when you are attacked. Now, the next one that helps with the research is going to be the occult studies. But if you're using a budget build castle, you're not going to have to worry about the occult studies until after you, in the Sage Tower, that it's not going to be an issue until once you're into prestige castles. So it's going to be a little ways down the road. I'm going to focus that into another category. The next best thing I want you to focus on, which some people really dismiss a lot, are the dragons. When you first start out, you're going to get your black dragon, which you'll be able to see in your castle on the first level when you go out and attack. Now, it takes a lot, and especially in a new game, it's going to be very time consuming to work out all these dragons. But if you're a medium-sized castle right now, you've been playing for a little while, still not really spending much money, you can still get these dragons, and it's not too hard. Working out the grind every day, doing the tower, you'll see the dragon stats coming up. The important thing is the skills. Now, everybody set up the dragons a little bit differently. The quick category, I've got all three dragons available. I broke down each dragon depending on whatever it is I'm doing. With upgrading my building, I've got the building speed and the healing speed right now, but trying to unlock my other skills. Now, the black dragon is useful for those two purposes. You can upgrade them into that category. Now, my blue dragon, the main skill that comes with it off the bat is the wounded troop capacity, which is going to be really grateful for when you're early on in the game and you don't have a huge capacity and you're going to be doing some big matches. You don't want to get zeroed out, and having that capacity be really beneficial. But there's also that same skill for the red dragon at level 20, so that's not going to be as important. It'll still be useful while you have the blue dragon, but once you get the red dragon, you won't have to worry about using that skill on the blue dragon. There's also many ways to improve the hospital capacity, but if you're shielding every day, or if you're in a kingdom in which you don't have to worry about being attacked and zeroed every day, it'll depend on the situation in your kingdom and how you want to build your castle. I have my blue dragon to set up the boost for my training. I've got right now the single training troop plus 400 and a training speed boost of plus 7%. Now, both of those skills I can keep upgrading so that while I'm building my troops, this is going to help me make my army bigger and faster, which is one of the other key categories I like to focus on in stats in the budget build. There are lots of packs out there. Infamously, there's the $99 pack that allows P5 to make about 5 to 7 million power worth of troops from that pack. They're going to have the speed boost plus the troop training boost that's going to add in thousands and thousands of troops. But if you're a budget build that's kind of out of the question and you want to be able to make a big enough force to be somewhat pertinent within the game. If you were to get zeroed out, that would be really disappointing, and it happens all the time, and it sucks to those players out there, and I know the struggle, but how fast you recover from that is going to be how fast you get back into the game. So you can be useful in the dragon campaigns to be able to work on your getting your glass and helping out. Now, on skills of the red dragon, I haven't leveled him up as far yet. It is costly, and grinding it out takes time, but getting these shards for the red and blue dragons, the blue shards now are much more available for every day of the week. Now, once a week, you'll be able to go in and get the red dragon shards level 17 through 20, and then 25 through 27, or might be 27 through 30. I gotta double check on that. But for most of the smaller castles, if you can't hit level 30 in the Dragon Tower, or if you don't have that yet, just focus on the 17 through 20. It is a time-consuming process, but the shards are really beneficial, and you also get the purple dragon chest and purple keys, and that's going to help you unlock those chests for extra dragon skills and extra bonus skills to put into upgrading your dragon skills here in the upgrade category. I just used all my upgrades, but with the red dragon, you're going to get the attack boost while defending your castle. That's with your red dragon being the one that's in the main castle defending it. And then the second one will be also the defense. Now both of those can reach a max level. That category isn't quite correct the way it has worded. It goes up to like 15%. Where it says max level and the same level, it's like it's a glitch there. It's supposed to say like 15%. Same with defending. Then for the wounded capacity, it has the next level at 50,000. I don't know what's going on with this game glitching right now, but the max capacity I believe is like level 10 for this, which goes to about 200,000 or 250. I can't remember what it's glitching out. But then all these other skills are going to really help. This would be the key for having your dragon and defending your castle during battles. And those stats right here are really beneficial, really important. A lot of people dismissed the dragons early on because a lot of P5s bought them, maxed them out to dragons to level 30, but the dragons didn't get exponential kills in the attacks. Now they'll still get thousands of kills per attack, but it's not like as much as your troops will get. That dragon is still going to make an impact, and of course people will still send it out, but they didn't invest heavily within the skills, which is where the gap is coming from. Because you just maxing out your dragon isn't going to make a huge impact in the battle. What's going to be a huge impact is the skill base. Now with the blue dragon later on, you get the cavalry damage percentage. That'll go up, especially before P5. Cavalry is a big thing to focus on. If you're like level 30 or mid 20s or something, and you get that bonus for your blue dragon, that's going to really help your cavalry get those more kills. Of course, at level 30, get the level 9 combat, which is going to increase the range of your cavalry, which is going to get you many more kills. Now, getting that skill isn't easy, and then leveling that skill up is also going to take a long time. And sadly, a lot of people out there never really spent time to invest in those skills. So it's really hard to show like proven reports of how that can greatly affect the battle. But if you look at P5 or the Dragon Championships battle reports, they show that the stats matching at like cavalry attacks, the way those mixed in with the archer attacks, how many kills they get for the range that an archer can shoot in the battle phase will get them more kills before you lose troops. And these skills can be really beneficial. It is a very time-consuming process. But even with a budget build, early on, you can still get a couple skills available. With the time-consuming process, working the grind, that's what we do here at Budget Builds. It is available, and you can get this without spending money. This is purple chest, purple keys, stuff you get from the Dragon Towers, and working that grind every week, sticking to it. Now, the next category would be in your heroes, mixed in with your armor. Now, let's see. I don't have any armor on my heroes because I deconstructed it and reconstructed it for my new armor sets that I'm working on. But we got the new 99-cent hero, which you don't have to spend money on, and I'm really glad that they made it available. At first I was kind of annoyed at this, but in the hero trials, the first 3 levels, part of the perks for doing this attack was to have the hero shards here, or the um, hero recruitment cards, was for the second hero available for the first 3 levels, but they just changed it to add in the new hero. And if you can do these first 3 levels, I don't recommend doing it unless you have moderately good stats. I'm going to say between 150 to maybe 130 to 160 in your attack skills. If you were to go full out war, working through this, because you don't want to lose too many troops and have to pay a huge amount of resources to recover through the hospital. But if you can do at least 150 in your infantry, shooting like over 120 in archer and cavalry, same with siege, you should be able to knock through the actual first 5 levels of the hero trials, to be able to get those hero recruitment cards. HR officer, working the grind on him, and that's every day, which is different than the Dragon Tower, which is only going to give you a massive boost in those shards only once a week, which I really hope they can change, because that red dragon only being able to get those shards from a few categories once a week really puts a struggle on the free-to-play players. But it's not impossible, and doing that grind every week, it is really rewarding once you do finally get that red dragon. But then that's only really just the beginning of working out that grind for for your dragons. Now, in the equipment, that's going to be key for anything you do in this game, because your stats and your research and your cult studies are not going to be huge. They're only going to be bringing in 1% or 0.5% every time you level up, and you're going to be spending millions of resources by the time you get into the research of the level 27 and 28. When you're maxing out on the 30 in the research center, you'll be spending millions and millions of resources to get that extra 1 and 2%. Now, your armor. Now, this is a big category that a lot of people have disagreements on about what's the best way to do it. As a free-to-play player, living in a limited budget, I was buying the monthly packs of 1,000 gold. The first thing that I really focused on, and I know a lot of other people focused on, was getting the materials upgraded, which you can do in the research center, and that can actually upgrade really quickly. You can max out those stats. Those are going to add boost to your regular armor here that you make through materials. Now, I made a huge mistake almost 2 months ago when I had all orange level 35 armor and I wanted gold. You can look at the stats here. Got the troop load, infantry attack, cavalry, and cavalry. It's a good weapon for somebody who's not Prestige 5, because cavalry is arguably the next best category to invest in until you get the Prestige 5 archers with those big boosts. So on a budget build, if I'm going to be limited in what I can do, I'm going to work on infantry and cavalry, which is the best categories for me to work into. But with bronze or orange, whatever color you want to call it, I'm missing a lot of percentages here that could be helpful. The infantry is about almost 4.5 to 5% weaker than the gold version. The same with the cavalry attack on each one. So between the bronze and the gold, that can be a huge difference. For my cavalry here, that would be almost a 10% boost in the attacks, and that could make a huge difference. So making gold armor is going to be much more beneficial to myself than just going with the bronze. But what my mistake was is that I had all the bronze materials, and I had worked on that from the beginning, and I didn't have the gold set up right. I only had level 5 gold equipment. I had a full set of level 5 on my hero. Now I dismantled all of my armor and tried to make my gold armor really strong, but I was only able to get a couple items leveled up to about 20, a couple 10s, and I was really weak. I had no stats of beneficial categories of anything, and my armor was just screwed. and it's taken me almost 2 months now to have uh, relatively decent stats, but I'm still not back up to what I had before because I don't have the decent armor on my hero like I had as well. So the next category I was looking at was, how am I going to make the best stats for my castle without pumping hundreds of dollars into this? Because I can't do anything unless I have good stats, right, for fighting. And then I was looking at the different armor sets that you can do, and I've talked to many different players. Now, the max P5s and P6 castles have the Holy Asylum set. They actually usually run 2 Holy Asylum sets. You're going to have 4 pieces from the Holy Asylum set, both on their Lord and on their hero. That's a level 40 hero, so maxed out hero, and at least 40 to 43 on their Lord. And they're going to have 2 of these sets here. Then with the 35 archer bow, they're going to add those stats to be around 500%, and that's just completely ridiculous. And I'm like, well, how, if I want to play and be competitive in this game, then I got to work up to getting, the Holy Asylum set. But working on grabbing these blueprints and the materials for what I need to do this job, since they became available, I've only averaged about 30 to almost 40 on all the shards, the blueprints for each category available. And I've been grinding every day, to be able to get the best that I can. And that is a very time-consuming process, and I'm looking at it, doing some math. You can only get so many blueprints a day. So you got the monster attacks, and then you've got the hero towers, and then some random times they'll have it gifted in the daily rewards or in your like the Yeti rewards, the monster events, stuff like that. You can get some shards there. Sometimes you'll get a whole blueprint from some of the raffles and chests. It's not very often that happens. For the most part, you're going to have to be grinding out those shards from every attack to be able to get the boost, or to be able to get all the shards and then make one whole blueprint in that time-consuming process. So I was looking at my goal here, and I've got my armor, and I was trying to think if I was going to redo all of my armor to make it gold, or if I'm just going to get the shards to get the Holy Asylum set. I'm getting the blueprints, and then getting the badges, and I'm attacking level 30s all the time. My stats weren't too great, but even with a weaker castle, there's a really good way to be able to hit level 30s, and that's going to be with your dragon words, which is going to be the next category for your stats. Grinding this out every day, every Thursday, you're going to get double dragon stones. It's going to take a long time to be able to grind that out until you get the dragon word hunt. This is going to do soldier training speed, 10% overall. Then you get plus an additional 30% for level 7s, 15% for 8. Stamina consumed is going to be 100%, so each monster attack will be 10 stamina instead of 5. But the rewards are going to be 110%. Now, let's do some number crunching here. You're going to toss 10 stamina, do a monster attack. But in the rewards, it's 110%. Now, it doesn't seem like much of a difference now, but with the attack of monster percentages going up to 20%, hitting level 30 monsters shouldn't be a problem, even with only level 7 and level 8 troops. And then with your attack mode, however you're going to have your stats set up on your hero, you should be able to knock out level 30s like it's nothing. So you're going to go here, find a 30, hit that 30. For people who haven't seen the reward difference. Now, with the Dragon Word Hunt on your march, and then the experience available for your hero to do the attack, you're going to get a lot of really good rewards. With the Dragon Word Hunt, there's a huge chance that you're going to get much more in a single attack than without the Dragon Word Hunt. Now, something to look at here is going to be how many dragon shards you get, blueprint shards you get, plus the experience available and the other items available. Alright, so we got a good one here. We got prestige badges, so I got 2 instead of 1. Now the ancient shoe blueprint shards I got here, I got 21 instead of what might be only 10, which is average for hitting level 30 with your stats. So that extra 1 there doesn't sound like a lot, but that's 21 shards per a single blueprint, not 10 for this blueprint, 10 for the next blueprint, 10 for a different blueprint, because every time you hit a monster, it'll go into the next type of item. So it'll be shoes, then helmet, garter, chest piece. And of course you get the resource chest, other items, the dragon stones, always level 4. When on Thursdays you're gonna get 8 stones per attack. Then with the Yetis that they had out there, it was consuming 20 stamina for each attack because it consumed 100% on top of the 10 stamina that are consumed. But I was getting an extra double dragon stones, dragon graphene stones, and I was getting 64 dragon stones per attack. And that's when I chose to grab some stamina boosts and to make a whole bunch of extra attacks on those level 30 Yetis, and I was getting a whole bunch of resources. Now the next big item here to look at is the materials available. The holy badge I got 2 of. Now that seems about right. You're going to pay twice as much stamina for twice as many badges, but when you're attacking level 30s, you can get the holy badge plus the dragon scale. Then you're going to have 2 of each item. You're going to have 2 holy badges, 2 dragon scales, or if you're working on the other set, you'll have 2 brutal horns plus 2 dragon scales. Or if you're going to look at the next set that I'm building the mercy set, and I'm going to explain to you in a second why I'm doing that. I'm going to get both the wood and the star, the 5-star. And down in the Lord experience, now that's going to be where you're going to see some of the bigger percentages. 8,000 plus a little bit of wiggle room there. Lord experience plus the hero experience. So imagine every attack with a hero that you would normally do just whatever on your own is now going to it. So every time I attack a monster, I'm now using my heroes to give them that extra boost. So if you're going to be working that grind, not putting your hero in there is just experience you're missing out on. Now we're talking about armor sets. Damn ads. Holy Asylum set, everybody's going to argue it's obviously the best set to get, the best thing to work on. And as much as, you know, the stats are going to be beneficial to you, you're going to get, you know, the percentages, the boost from the Holy set is going to be insane. I did some number crunching, and there's really nothing comparable to it in the sense of how strong that archer boost will be. But if you're doing a budget build and you're not spending hundreds of dollars every week, that holy set isn't going to do you much good because you're not going to be a prestige 5, you're not going to get that boost. So what is it you're going to work towards here? Well, if somebody else in your alliance has that prestige 5 set, has all that 100% boost, has the SVIP level 10, and can do those super rallies, they're going to pass those skills onto you when you go to do the attack. I'm like, well, the benefit there is you just need to have the troops to do the attack and supply all those rallies so that you can be pertinent within the battle. Same with working on some of your own personal stats, being well balanced in your troop layering, having not only just those archer up, but having the cavalry, the infantry, and the siege. Siege can do really well in the lower tier troops, like level 10 T10s. Siege, when you're just doing attacks with a 30, or if you got a prestige 1 or 2, those siege can get a lot of kills, which everybody overlooks because all the prestige 5s are only using archer. The lower tier castles, if you're fighting other lower tier castles, that balanced layer is going to be much more effective in an attack or a rally. And then doing some number crunching with the gladiator set, that's really purposed for the hero. It'll add with the bronze set. I did some number crunching between the holy Conquest, and Gladiator. Uh, the numbers are pretty crazy, but with the Gladiator, it's going to increase your infantry attack with a whole bronze set of 130% per Gladiator set. And I can't really see any benefit to somebody trying to do something insane and putting their infantry attack at like over 600%, because they could do that with all their armor available, but they would just be killed off by the archers pretty quickly anyway. So which ones do you want to work on here? The best thing that I can recommend for a budget build is going with the Mercy set. Now, it is weak, and the numbers are pretty far down there, but it's not as bad as it originally looks. If you're comparing the Holy Asylum set with the Mercy set, obviously you're going to be like, well, there's huge bonuses on the Holy set and not as much on the Mercy set. And some of the things you got to weigh out here is how long is it actually going to take you to gather all the materials for the Holy set. Because the key isn't just grabbing the blueprints and the materials to make the Holy set, but you also got to get the obsidian to make it gold. Now, why is that important? Because the stats shown here are for the bronze available, and the gold is going to be a little bit better. But with some number crunching, this level 20 hero set, level 20 mercy set, can go on my hero or my lord really easily. That's going to be really important, because whether I'm fighting somebody or whether I'm going to be focusing on making troops and gathering resources, this set is not only easy to make, but also very versatile, because it'll still be useful even later on if I do want to get my Asylum set and then get into a more powerful statistics. This set is still important to have, because I'm not going to go and spend $99 on a pack to increase how many troops I have and grab all those speed ups. What I can do is I'm going to grind out every day. I'm going to go and make my troops, and I'm going to use this bonus here that is not only almost a 30% boost on my total resource income, the science research. With 6 pieces, you get the total training speed of 25%. That's when you have all the armor on. That's gold. Now, that's really something to look at. Is this is the first set in the first 3 sets available that you should be able to get the 100% basic obsidian guarantee. So when you make that armor set, you know you will get the gold. I would never try to make something with only 75%. In this game, 75% means a failure. Don't take those chances. You will be very, very disappointed. And that's a promise that almost anybody after making that same mistake will say. You know, only shoot for the 100%. Don't want to waste your weapon blueprints and your materials. Also only takes orange materials, not gold, which takes obviously 4 times less time to make those materials. So if you were to focus on only making the materials you needed for the armor, it wouldn't take that long to get. With sandalwood material, it's relatively easy for many people to make these with only attacking lower level monsters. You'll grab the stats and get this early on in the game. So if you're in a newer kingdom and you have a lower level castle, you should be able to get this pretty quickly. I'm working on limited time here, so I'm going to try and wrap this video up quickly. My focus with this set is each category can make different troops. You're going to have the 5% for the level 10s, then it's actually 8% at gold. Nope, 7, sorry. And then mixed in with the 25% added in for the soldier training speed. Also with your dragon word of power, increasing the amount of speed or the time it takes to make each troop. Each of these things is going to add the soldier training speed. And then all these are important after you hit level 30 and then go into prestige castles. Because even though you can have prestige 1 or 2 troops working on a limited budget or with free-to-play players, you will get those prestige badges. You can get up to 1 and 2. You're still going to make level 7 through 10 troops. The level 7 infantry is still very vital for the defense of your castle and really good to use in rallies as basically a sacrifice to protect most of your other troops. And with the huge bonuses that you can get on level training speed, it's something that you just should not look away from. So especially for a free-to-play player or budget player, these bonuses, training amounts, trap building speed, I use the skill for that, I don't want to waste resources on it. All of these things are available, and this set with your gold should add about a 25% attack bonus onto infantry, cavalry, archery, and siege. It's not a lot. There are armors out there that do add some better stats, but this is one for each category. It is good for 1 or 2 heroes, and later on, once you're able to make extra items, it is also something you can mount onto a hero and then mount onto your wall so that you always have that defense there. While training, you just put it onto your Lord skill. You're going to have all those bonus resources. That skill is going to work on all of your troops, and then your science research speed. Then when you're fighting, you can swap over the boosts, the other armor set you may have, onto your Lord to be able to use the bigger boosts of the level 35 items that you're doing. Now, the last thing I can recommend before the last thing I will recommend is if you have an orange set, a complete orange armor set, to not completely disassemble it to work on the gold set for what you're doing. If you're at level 35 or 40 and you have all orange armor, I would strongly advise to make your gold set separate and put it on your hero. Then slowly work up that gold armor, making those gold pieces one at a time to upgrade that armor. Don't disassemble your old armor. It's going to lower your stats significantly, and it's going to take a long time to boost it back up there, because disassembling all this level 35 orange armor is only going to get me so many gold pieces, and that's not going to carry very far. Last bit of information I have. Stay safe out there, Dragon Campaign, and then the kill event going on. Please like, subscribe, and then I'll see you guys in the next video.